Could they even possibly throw him in jail? What would that look like?
He's protected by Secret Service, period.
That is Trump defense attorney Alina Habba.
So I always tell people when they're panicked, listen, he's protected by Secret Service, number one. Number two, he did nothing wrong. So when people go to jail, it's because they've done something wrong. Right. Do we have crooked situations in and out of court? Absolutely. Could they try? Probably, but it won't work because there is still trial process. There is still facts, and unfortunately, they're not going to win on the facts.
Okay, that's your opinion, but what if the facts and the law result in a Donald Trump conviction?
Secret Service will always protect President Trump. That's the truth. They have to, wherever he is. But it's not even something we think about, to be honest, because this is all political. It's really not. There's no criminal acts that he's done.
Huh? Actually, there are 4 criminal cases and 91 felony charges. And there's also the civil lawsuit, but go on.
There's no civil wrongs that he's done, unless making money for banks is a civil wrong all of a sudden.
Orange man bad. I mean, that's the
terrible.
crime.
It's Trump derangement syndrome at its best. I'm not worried about him. He's not worried, and the American public shouldn't be worried. He's succeeding for a reason.
Yeah, I will dare this judge to try to throw him in jail.
First Amendment.
Wait, did that Newsmax anchor really dare the judge to throw Trump in jail?
Yeah, I will dare this judge to try to throw him in jail.
First Amendment. First Amendment is a thing.
What are you saying, Newsmax man, that Trump's Secret Service and his armed supporters will block a federal judge or be willing to use weapons to fight off a Trump imprisonment, and that something might happen to the judge? Good grief, it's almost like Newsmax is rooting for another January 6th riot, although this time at the federal courthouse in Washington. For the record, one of Donald Trump's former attorneys says Trump's continuous violation of a judge's gag order will land Trump behind bars, perhaps soon. Here's former Trump lawyer Ty Cobb responding to CNN anchor Aaron Burnett. Watch.
Quick follow here before we go on the point about the gag order. What do you think is next, right? I mean, so the gag order went away for 9 days. It gets reinstated. He says these things about Bill Barr. What he got fined $10,000 for him, that's, pennies. No matter what his real wealth is, it's still pennies. So where does he end up on this?
Well, the New York judge fined him $10,000. That's in a civil case. That's not as consequential as Judge Chutkan's case. I think Judge Chutkan, prudently allowed Trump to try to persuade her to extend the gag order. She concluded, on the basis of his conduct this week, not to do so. And I think she'll come in with a much heavier penalty, and ultimately, I think he'll, spend a night or a weekend in jail.
Wow.
I think it's going to take that. I think it will take that to stop him.
Wow, that'll be an incredible thing to actually see happen. But you think that's where it goes?
I do.
Cobb just said he thinks Donald Trump will spend a night or weekend in jail. And that's just because Trump keeps violating a gag order, which forbids Trump from making personal attacks on trial witnesses, including Bill Barr. In other words, that would be like the Trump in jail appetizer compared to the main course if Trump gets convicted. So how would that work? Would the Secret Service really keep Trump away from incarceration? Could Trump instead get home confinement? Those questions have been a hot topic for many television shows lately, including Inside Edition.
Could prison doors ever slam shut behind Trump? A prison sentence for the former president would present the Secret Service with a security nightmare.
This has never been encountered before. This isn't something that, the Secret Service has prepared for previously. It's just never even been a thought.
All former presidents are entitled by law to round-the-clock Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. In a statement, the Secret Service admits no policy or procedure currently exists to cover a former president going to prison.
I don't think someone's going to be sitting there with him in his jail cell by any means, but maybe when he gets out to get his hours of exercise or things such as that, I'm sure he'd have some sort of protection.
That seems to be the scenario most law enforcement and former Secret Service agents envision. Donald Trump would be put in a special cell away from the rest of the inmate population. Secret Service agents would be posted nearby, and whenever Trump went out for exercise, his security detail would tag along. Several agents believe that even in jail for Trump's security and the safety of his agents, Trump would never mix with other inmates for meals or anything else. There is another factor at play here. Donald Trump is 77 years old, and federal judges have some latitude to take age and health into account to keep a convicted felon out of prison. Years ago, I covered the trial and conviction of former Arkansas Governor Jim Guy Tucker. He was convicted in the Whitewater scandal and faced years behind bars. But because Jim Guy Tucker had liver health issues, the judge felt that a prison sentence and exposure to jail conditions would effectively be a death sentence. So Tucker got home confinement and years of probation. Some of the charges facing Donald Trump carry mandatory minimum sentences of 5 years. But I have a feeling an actual imprisonment would be delayed pending endless appeals. And the idea of putting a former president behind bars might also be subject to court battles. So I don't think Trump, if convicted, will ever actually go into a prison and have to wear a prison jumpsuit. But just getting convicted would be its own form of Trump humiliation. Likewise, getting sent to a jail for a night or a weekend would also be remarkable. And the odds of that happening with or without the Secret Service seem increasingly likely. By the way, one of Donald Trump's fiercest supporters in the U.S. House is Colorado Republican Lauren Boebert, and Boebert is now getting trolled amidst her sexual groping apology tour.
Went on a date night, and I am a congresswoman and a public figure, but believe it or not, I'm human too.
On Halloween, outside a Colorado campaign office, demonstrators erected this blow-up worm character from Beetlejuice as a reminder of Boebert sexually groping her date in public. Other constituents wore this, the official Lauren Boebert Halloween costume. Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.